Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about 10 things to know about studying fashion design. I currently study fashion design at university. It's my second year. I have about 3 weeks left and then I'm going to be in my third and final year. Today my hair has kind of like a mind of its own, so I do apologise, I'm not sure what it's doing. These are 10 things actually that I kind of found out. I wish I knew about these 10 things before, but I knew I wanted to study fashion design anyway since I was very, very young because my mum did it. I feel like it was just meant to be. But yeah, if you want to know these things, maybe you're thinking about studying fashion design, maybe you do study it and you can relate, let me know in the comment section below and let's get straight into it. The first thing is that it's not all that glamorous. People talk about how the industry is glamorous. It's always perceived as very glamorous. You open up a magazine, you see just glamour and the glitz of it all, red carpets and celebrities, makeup, style, beauty, fashion, all of these things in the industry are just seen as glamorous, but actually behind the scenes it's a lot of hard work. Even the big designers, I mean, you see them as really glamorous, they make a lot of money, but behind the scenes they work very, very hard. And there's a lot of documentaries that you can see where they are literally running around like headless chickens and it's incredibly stressful. 5% of it is probably glamorous, then 95% of it is just pure hard work. It's extremely hard, which leads me on to the fact that fashion is very, very fast and you have to work really, really fast. And at university, you have to work fast and you have to do things very well, but you have to do them really, really quickly at the same time. And yeah, it's a lot of hard work. The minute you kind of stop and you don't do something, you fall back really, really, it's just really hard sometimes to just stay on top of things. But that's how the industry is anyways, because if you miss a couple of weeks doing work in the actual industry, you're just automatically behind because fashion is so quick. The turnaround for it is just ridiculous. It's so, so fast. The second thing is experience, and internships can oftentimes be quite expensive. It can be an investment. For example, I don't live in London. Majority of designers are in London, and so if I want to do an internship like I did last year, I had to pay my own way to do it. The internship that I did, the company that I did my internship with, which is a luxury brand, they only paid travel for London, so like the underground and things like that. So I actually had to pay my train ticket from where I live to London, and that was pretty expensive. But in the long term, see, now that I've done that internship, I was able to really quickly get another internship. So that internship, although it was like an investment, led me to get another internship which is actually paid in summer, and it's fully paid, which, I mean, the investment obviously worked for the first internship, but things like this are, things that you're going to have to, like, see whether you can afford it, whether you can't, whether you're going to just put in the money and try and invest it and hope it works out in the long term. Things like that are they're things to think about, definitely. The third thing is it's very, very competitive. People will do a lot of things. If you are someone that cannot be flexible, believe me, there are like 10 other people behind you that will do everything that you might not be able to do. So, you got to be flexible in this industry, and especially at university as well. Like, 80% of success is showing up. If you don't show your face and you don't turn up half the time, you're not serious enough about it. And that's the thing that I found, is that a lot of people on the course that I do just don't ever show up, and it makes me wonder, like, what are you paying 9 grand a year for? Like, why? You know, it's only I only do university like 3 days a week, and still people don't turn up, and I don't even live that close to my university, so it makes me wonder. But yeah, be serious about it. If you're serious about it, show up. You never know what you might miss, and that's the thing. Like, there was one day I wasn't actually going to go to university, and I'm so glad I did, because there was a company that came in, and it was very, very useful, very helpful. And yeah, 80% of success is showing up. Show your face, and then it's just like, why not, you know, unless you're extremely ill or something like that, obviously. The other thing is redoing your work genuinely never ends. I mean, you know, you might think that you've done an amazing portfolio or something like that. You'll show it to your tutor for feedback and they'll tell you to change it several times. The thing about having multiple tutors is that they all have different opinions, and you'll take it to one and they'll say do this, this and this. You'll take it to another one and they'll say no, you should have kept it like that, and it can get really confusing. But I think at the end of it, you know, once you've shown your tutors, you've got the feedback, do what you think is right. And I think that's like a really important thing, is that also never discount their views because they're the ones marking it. So always be aware of that. And that kind of leads me on to, sometimes when you study fashion design, they are the ones that are marking it. And I want to do my master's and I'm currently doing my bachelor's. So, you know, I want to get the best grade possible, and sometimes what they think is right is often what I have to believe in because they're marking my work, and if I do what I want to do and they don't like it, obviously my marks are not going to be as high. So sometimes, you know, you have to be flexible and of course just listen to them and do that, but you have to also have your input and believe in it, definitely. The other thing is, of course, fashion is very time consuming. I think I covered this one right at the beginning. You got to have a lot of patience as well. You know, yes, people snap in the industry and they can be very snobby and just not nice people, but you have to have patience. I think that's quite an important thing, and stand your ground. Also, not everyone will like your work. That's the thing about the fashion industry. I mean, there are so many shops, there are so many designers on the high street, luxury labels. You're not going to step into a shop and be like, I love this one, this one, this one. I love this whole collection. You know, not everyone's going to like your work, and you kind of just have to deal with it. Everyone has a different style. Everyone in the world is different when it comes to fashion. There are so many variables, and you just have to deal with the fact that not everyone is going to like your work, but there are going to be some people that do. And it's whether you want to cater for the majority or just for just a few people. That's, you know, that's obviously like your design work, and you have to think about that, whether it's going to be like mass market or couture. Like, these are things that you will probably learn when you kind of get into fashion design. Stick through the lectures. They might be really boring and things like that, but you will most likely learn something. I can tell you right now that I have learned quite a lot from lectures, even though they are extremely boring. You know, that's the way. Also, for the course that I'm on, we have to do a blog, and I think that blogging is fantastic. It's a way that you can kind of show what you've learnt, but at the same time, you know, I'm not saying put your work on the internet, because of course not everyone wants to, but it really helps with when people come to see your blog, what you've done, what you enjoy, what you don't enjoy. Sometimes in terms of getting jobs, it can be quite a good thing. And yeah, branding, you know, like how does your blog look? You know, what is it that you put onto your blog? What is it about you that you kind of put, your personal philosophy? Like all these kinds of things you will most likely develop during your university years. The other thing is practice makes perfect, and this is the last thing I want to talk about. When you first start fashion design, it's not going to be like you need to know everything, unless you're going to like Central St. Martin's or FIT or something, where you are probably expected to know like basic things, but, or more intermediate things, should I say. But when you start university, like they will teach you quite a lot of techniques and things like that, and you just have to keep practicing them. Like, in, for example, something so simple as inserting a zip or making a Peter Pan collar. Like, you just have to keep making the pattern over and over again, keep stitching it over and over again, and you will make it perfect. And also, then when you come to do it, you'll be so much quicker at it, and you'll be a lot better at it as well, and it will look very, very good. And yeah, you know, practice does make perfect in just with everything. You know, if you practice drawing, illustrating, you know, Photoshop, Adobe Illustrator, idea generation, trend forecasting, the more you practice it, the more perfect it will be. Like portfolios as well, the more work you put into your portfolios, like the more perfect it will be, hopefully, anyways. So yeah, those are 10 things to know about like fashion design, the industry, but also university as well. If you have any comments, let me know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you guys very, very soon. As I mentioned, anything, if you'd like to know anything more, definitely let me know, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!